When you invest solely, it's nice to be able to say, I own these units, and people can know that that's 100% the truth. Hey guys, I'm Kellen James, and I've built a portfolio of 83 units of rental real estate with no joint venture partners. In today's video, we're going to talk about exactly that, why I like to invest without joint venture partners and maintain full equity stake in all of my buildings. So one of the first advantages that comes to mind when it comes to investing solely rather than with joint venture partners is just pride of ownership. There's something really nice about knowing that that building right there is your own building, and that there's not an asterisk beside it. You know, that's me and a partner, or me and multiple other partners. It's nice to know that's your own. It's nice to know that all of the work that went into that building, you did, all of the results you get out of it are yours. So when you invest with multiple partners, it just doesn't feel honest to say, I own 50 units, if the reality is you and partners own those buildings. And you don't often hear people clarifying that. And you see it on social media all the time. People own some crazy number of units and you're like, what's the deal there though? Like, it just doesn't feel completely honest to me. So when you invest solely, it's nice to be able to say, I own these units, and people can know that that's 100% the truth. Reason number two why I like to invest solely rather than with joint venture partners is that investing with partners is generally going to be twice the work for the same result. Now, there are some advantages when you're bringing on partners. There's less work when it comes to bringing on financing and that sort of thing. But when you're talking about the number of deals you need to do, the number of renovations you need to handle, the number of tenants you're dealing with, all of that, generally the number of headaches, especially if you're the active partner, you're going to be doing twice the number of work and you're going to end up with the exact same result. Reason number three why I like to invest solely rather than with joint venture partners is just simply mental bandwidth. There's a lot less on my mind, and people don't talk enough about mental bandwidth and the effect this has. They talk more about the number of hours they're putting into things, but when you own that many more buildings, there's that many more furnaces and boiler systems and tenants and things like that to think about. Or the fact that you can own half the number of units and get the same result and have half the number of things on your mind. Mental bandwidth is one of the main reasons why I like to invest without partners. Reason number four why I like to invest solely rather than with joint venture partners is because the decision making is 100% mine. I'm able to make the right decisions for the portfolio, and if that portfolio involved partners, they only own an equity stake in certain buildings, and then they're going to be on you to do renovations on units that aren't actually the best decision for your portfolio as a whole. So you get pressure from them to take on projects and things like that that actually aren't the best use of your time at this moment. Another advantage to investing solely is that you can take on the deals that make the most sense to you. You don't have to pitch the deal to a partner. Sometimes a partner's not going to see the value in a deal. You're able to say, I can see the potential in this project. All I need to do is figure out the financing for it, and I can take on that project and take it through the finish line. You don't need to convince anybody else that that deal's right for you, because I can't count the number of times that I've come across a deal that I know makes sense, and I've seen a million other people walk through that same deal either on or off market, and they don't see the potential in it. While I go, perfect, I'm gonna take this deal on, and I don't need to convince anyone else that it makes sense because I know that it's gonna work. So that leads into reason number five why I like to invest solely, and that's just because you have full control over your real estate. So you can own the buildings as long as you'd like. If you wanna own it for 20 years, you can do that. If you're looking at it and go, well, you know, it's been 3 years, I've built a lot of equity in it, I see another project, I can take the equity out of this and put it into something else. There's no one to convince of that. You can take full action on that and do exactly what's best for you in this moment. So having full control, I mean, this is why we get into real estate investing for most of us. It's because we don't want to necessarily work at a desk job 9 to 5 for the rest of our lives, and we want to have full control over our lives, our business, but also like, it's the reason why we invest in real estate maybe as opposed to stocks and things like that is because we don't have control over those businesses. With real estate, we have control, and the more you invest solely and the fewer partners and equity stake that you've given out, the more control you have. Reason number six why I like to invest solely rather than with joint venture partners is that you can have the feeling of partnership without the equity stake. My property managers, my contractor, all of the people involved in my business, they actually have all of the same thoughts in mind. They have the same incentives in mind. My property managers, they want to turn units over. Well, they know that it's going to be an easier portfolio to manage. You're going to have better tenants. The rents are higher. They're going to make more money. I'm going to make more money. My contractor wants those units turned over because then he's got work to do. He wants to do a great job because he knows if he does a good job, I'm gonna have more work lined up. All of us have the same thoughts in mind, and yet there's no equity stake involved here. So I really like that. It's something that's taken a while to build, but you can have a lot of those benefits that come with joint venture partners, but maintain full equity stake in your portfolio. So if you guys are looking to build a portfolio without joint venture partnerships, keep an eye on my content. Also be aware that I do have a mentorship program. It's not something that everyone needs. People need to realize you don't always need a coach. There's lots of free information out there. But if you're someone who already has some buildings and they want to learn how to optimize it, they want to figure out how to scale from here, they want to do it without partners, that's what the mentorship program is for. So feel free to check out my website, callanjames.ca, or my Instagram, and keep an eye out for more content.